Hello, from St. Thomas Episcopal Church and School in San Antonio, Texas, and welcome to the first episode of our journey through the Psalms. This is a new series that we're doing. We're going to take each one of the Psalms in turn and read it and talk about it. So many of you have very kindly mentioned that you enjoy the little things that I add and talk about during morning prayer. But morning prayer itself is very structured, so you always know what's going to happen. We cycle through the readings and prayers and the Psalms, but it's very, very structured. This is very not structured. And so the only thing that we're going to definitely do is read the Psalm. But then we're going to talk about the Psalm or talk about things around the Psalm itself. We are going to have guests in this series. I am so excited about this because this is something that we've not had the opportunity to do before. So I'm looking forward to that. And also, we are leaving the deck and we're going for walks. I'm not going to say every episode will be going someplace for a walk, but I am a great believer in walking while praying. And I think it just adds another dimension to it. This is a pretty common practice all over the world. And so I think it's fun to walk while you're saying the Psalms. And so this is something that we're going to be doing, especially in this episode, this first episode. We are going to take you away from the deck and out into the desert. And so we're going to talk about the desert and how it relates to Psalm number 1, because we're going to start at the beginning. So let's get some business out of the way first. We do not know exactly right now at what interval we'll be doing these episodes. We're not going to be doing them every day, I do know that. We might be doing them once, maybe twice a week. So if you want to kind of keep an eye on our channel, we'll have a special playlist for our journey through the Psalms. Also, if you're interested, you can contact the church office, and the instructions are down below in the description, and get on the mailing list, and they'll send you a reminder when we do release a new episode. So that's another way of kind of keeping up with us. So with business out of the way, let's get started with Psalm number 1. So we're walking in the desert, kind of in the mountains. We're not really on the desert floor, but this is definitely the American Southwest Sonoran Desert. The desert is something that Jesus would have known. It's a dry land. It's a land that only occasionally receives water. And the plants and animals here, of which there are very many, are adapted for that. Of course, you're going to see behind me the saguaro, which is very, very specifically adapted to that and is not found. Jesus wouldn't have known those. That's in the Sonoran Desert of the American Southwest. But when we're studying the Psalms, what are the Psalms? The Psalms, basically, is a hymn book. There are Psalms, there are many different kinds of Psalms. Psalms of praise, Psalms of lamentation. Sorry, I'm watching the birds. You know that. Psalms of ascent. All kinds of Psalms. But we're going to begin this series with Psalm 1. Why? Yeah? You've heard the old, let's begin at the very beginning? That's what we're going to do. But there's something I want to show you while we go on this walk. And you probably won't be with me for the whole walk because I'm actually going to do a 5K. Probably not going to take you long for the whole thing. But we're starting here, the floor of the desert. But ahead of us it's going to climb. And it's also going to cross water. And streams in the desert. And there, by the way, is a very famous devotional book called Streams in the Desert. Streams in the desert are a thing. Oh, look, I hope you can see it. Can you see it? That's a roadrunner. Oh, that is so cool. I hope you saw it. One of the things that people think about the desert is that it's dead. It's not dead. I'm seeing birds, not just our little roadrunner friend. But here's one. I'm going to see if I can turn the camera around. I want you to listen. taking you down this road into the canyon's head. And I think you can see where the road sort of bends off to the right. I was hoping to be able to take you much farther down this road up into the canyon and the mountains. Unfortunately, I'm only going to be able to take you to the first bridge, which is kind of sad, but it's very beautiful. So that's where we're going to go today. Here's some of the cactus I'm talking about. This is a saguaro cactus. I gotta figure it's what, maybe 10, 12 feet tall? And that's actually kind of small for a saguaro. I'm not gonna get super close to it for one thing. The rattlesnakes are already out this time of year, so I'm not gonna push it. But this is what the Sonoran Desert looks like. I've actually gone off the road a little bit. I'm gonna bring you around and let's go take a look at a saguaro. Maybe we can come up a little bit closer to them. A saguaro is an entire environment unto itself. It's its whole little ecosystem. It soaks water, rainwater, which only happens maybe during the spring, into gel that it has inside. And it can expand and contract. And the animals will come and they will burrow into it and get that water. So it supports a great deal of life. There's a lesson there somewhere. But you see how dry it is all around me. But these areas of water, flowing water in the desert, give rise to an entirely different kind of biosphere. It's called the riparian area. And it's entirely different from the desert. Trees grow there with leaves that do not wither. And this is one of the main comparisons in Psalm 1. And that's what we're going to look at today. So I'm going to walk along for a while. There are lots of other people out here. And by the way, I am in the Sabino Canyon in Tucson, Arizona. I'm in the Sonoran Desert. This happens to be one of the most heavily used national or recreation areas in the national forest. So there are lots of people around here. So I'm going to walk as far as I can and just kind of let you see where I'm going. Let's take a look up here. How rocky this land is. You can see some of the clouds left over from this morning's rain. Actually, further up in the mountains it snowed. I will try to show you some of that. I might not be able to. And of course, what does all this have to do with the Psalms? Well, you're about to find out. Here we are at our first look at the river. And from what you can see right now, you see the dry, you see the saguaro. But I'm going to zoom in. And can you see through the saguaro the water? See the tree beside it. So you're starting to see the change in the ecological systems that are just brought about by a steady supply of water. And again, and again, here's another look at the water. I was trying to get a picture of a bird a second ago, which was an epic fail. Okay, here's the water. Some of the green and the trees on the other side. We're still in late winter, and so it's not as green as it's going to be, but because of the rains we've just had, it's going to green up really fast around here. Here we are down close to the water. I'm not going to get much closer than this, mostly because it's up running very fast due to rains and the beginnings of the snowmelt. And so I'm probably just going to keep this safe distance away. But I'm hoping that you can see it and enjoy it. I'm also going to be quiet here and let you listen to the water. So I'm going to read Psalm 1 for you right now. Happy are they who have not walked in the counsel of the wicked, nor lingered in the way of sinners, nor sat in the seats of the scornful. Their delight is in the law of the Lord, and they meditate on his law day and night. They are like trees planted by streams of water, bearing fruit in due season, with leaves that do not wither. Everything they do shall prosper. It is not so with the wicked. They are like chaff which the wind blows away. Therefore the wicked shall not stand upright when judgment comes, nor the sinner in the counsel of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked is doomed. Can you imagine what this must have sounded like and looked like? If you're coming through this desert, and all of a sudden you come upon this canyon with this water, life-giving water, and the trees that grow beside it, with leaves that do not wither. Of course, I'm here in the winter, in the latter part of the winter, and of course the leaves have kind of fallen, and so it kind of made a liar out of me, but not really. I hope you enjoyed our walk through the desert and our study of Psalm 1, and thank you for joining us on our journey through the Psalms.